Today, we're diving deep into the most valuable old dirty Washington quarters ever found, coins pulled from junk drawers. What if I told you that the coin hiding in your pocket change right now, old jars, even the dirt turning lucky finders into instant cash winners? The 1965-era Washington quarter dollar is one of the most shocking coins in American numismatic history. At first glance, it looks like a normal quarter. Old, dirty, maybe forgotten at the bottom of a drawer. But beneath that dull surface hides a secret, one that has led collectors to spend thousands, tens of thousands, and in extraordinary cases, over $1 million for the right error. Yes, a simple 25-cent coin from 1965 has been known to sell for prices that rival luxury cars and even houses. In 1965, the United States Mint was in chaos. The nation was facing one of the worst coin shortages in decades. Silver prices were rising fast, and people were hoarding coins because they knew the metal inside them was becoming more valuable than the coin itself. The government needed a solution, and fast. So they made a huge change: they removed silver from the quarter. Before 1965, Washington quarters were made of 90% silver. But beginning in 1965, the mint shifted to a copper-nickel clad composition. Then there are the off-center 1965 quarters, where part of the design is missing because the planchet wasn't properly aligned during the strike. A 10% off-center strike can bring $100 to $300. A 30% off-center example can reach $500 to $800. But the extremely dramatic errors 50% off-center while still showing the date can skyrocket into the thousands. A nearly perfect 1965 off-center strike with a clear date once sold for more than $2,000. Another valuable variety is the broad strike error, where the collar that normally shapes the coin's rim fails to hold the planchet in place. The result is a wider, flatter coin with expanded design details. These can range from $100 to $500 or more, depending on sharpness and eye appeal. Collectors love dramatic errors, especially those from the important transitional year of 1965. But one of the most intriguing 1965 errors is the extremely rare wrong planchet strike, where a 1965 quarter was mistakenly struck on a coin blank meant for another denomination. Some known examples include quarters struck on nickel planchets, dime planchets, and even foreign coin planchets used by the mint during overseas production. A 1965 quarter struck on a dime planchet can sell for $1,000 to $4,000 depending on grade. On a nickel planchet, values can rise even higher, especially if the error is visually dramatic. And if a 1965 quarter were ever found struck on a foreign silver planchet, something theorized but still unconfirmed, it could sell for tens of thousands or more. Auction records reveal the truth. Even worn examples, coins that look like they've been through decades of circulation, can bring $3,000 to $5,000 simply because of their rarity. Mint state examples can exceed $10,000, and some high-grade survivors have been projected to reach $50,000 to $75,000 if they appear at a major auction today, and if a truly flawless, museum-quality specimen were ever found. Today, we're diving deep into the full story behind the 1966 Washington quarter dollar, exploring the rarest errors, the fascinating history, and the jaw-dropping values that have made collectors across the world go wild. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know why even the most average 1966 quarter. 1966 was a pivotal year for U.S. coinage. The United States Mint was still in the transitional period, just after the huge shift from silver to copper-nickel clad coins in 1965. The silver coins of the past had been withdrawn from circulation, and the mint was now striking billions of copper-nickel quarters. With so much production going on, mistakes were almost guaranteed. Some coins received multiple strikes. Others were off-center. Some were struck on the wrong planchets. Among all these possibilities, the 1966 Washington quarter dollar stands out as one of the most intriguing and rare coins from the modern era. One of the most sought-after 1966 errors is the 1966 silver quarter error. Similar to 1965, some planchets of leftover silver from 1964 or early 1965 production accidentally made their way into the 1966 production line. These coins were struck as regular quarters but contain 90% silver, making them extremely rare. A circulated example can fetch $5,000 to $7,000, while a mint state example might reach over $10,000. Experts predict that a perfect, high-grade specimen could easily bring hundreds of thousands of dollars, and potentially even $1 million if it appears in a major auction. The rarity is staggering because the mint had already eliminated silver from production, so these coins were never supposed to exist. Another highly valuable error is the double die obverse 1966 quarter, where the design appears doubled, often on letters, numbers, or Washington's profile. Collectors love these coins because the doubling is dramatic and unmistakable once you know what to look for. Depending on the strength of the doubling and the coin's condition, these can sell for $1,000 to $5,000. Uncirculated examples with strong doubling are even more valuable. The off-center strike is another dramatic and collectible 1966 error. During the rush to strike billions of coins, some planchets slipped partially out of alignment, producing coins where part of the design is missing. Small off-center strikes, around 10%, may be worth a few $100s. But extreme examples, missing 30% or more of the design, can easily reach $1,000 to $3,000. Rarely, coins missing half the design have been auctioned for $5,000 or more. Then there are broad strike errors, where the coin is struck outside the collar, causing it to be slightly wider and flatter than normal. Broad strikes can appear almost alien, and depending on the severity, they can range in value from $100 to $500. Dramatic examples with excellent eye appeal are even more sought after by collectors. The 1967 Washington quarter dollar, one of the most fascinating and sought-after coins in modern U.S. history. At first glance, it appears to be just another 25-cent piece from circulation, yet hidden within the design are some of the most extraordinary errors ever produced by the U.S. Mint. Today, we're going to dive deep into the story of this coin, uncover its rarest errors, explore its incredible history, and reveal the jaw-dropping values that have collectors across the nation on edge. Stay with me to the very end because you'll discover why even the most ordinary-looking 1967 quarter. In 1967, the United States Mint was continuing the massive transition from silver to copper-nickel-clad coins, a change that had begun in 1965. With silver removed from circulation and billions of coins being struck to meet growing demand, the mint was under enormous pressure. Mistakes were almost guaranteed, and those mistakes are exactly what make the 1967 Washington quarter dollar so valuable today. Errors from this year include double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and even wrong planchet strikes, each with the potential to fetch extraordinary prices. One of the most coveted 1967 errors is the double die obverse quarter. A double die occurs when the coin is struck more than once, creating visible doubling on letters, numbers, and even on Washington's profile. The doubling is often seen on or the date itself. Collectors prize these coins because no two double dies are ever exactly alike. Depending on the strength of the doubling and the coin's condition, a 1967 double die obverse quarter can sell for $500 to $3,000 in circulated condition, with high-grade uncirculated examples exceeding $5,000 or more. Another dramatic error from 1967 is the off-center strike. During the rush to produce billions of coins, some planchets were misaligned, causing partial designs to appear on the coin. Small misalignments, around 10%, may bring $100 to $300, but extreme cases missing 30% or more of the design can sell for $1,000 to $3,000. Rarely, examples missing nearly half the design have reached $5,000 or higher. Each off-center coin is unique, making every discovery a potential treasure. The broad strike error is another spectacular variety. This occurs when the coin slips outside the collar during striking, producing a coin that is wider, flatter, and often visually striking. Broad strikes from 1967 can range from $100 to $500, with dramatic, high-quality examples fetching significantly higher prices. Collectors love the visual impact of broad strikes, as no two are ever identical, and they represent one of the most tangible examples of minting mistakes. In addition to these dramatic errors, 1967 also saw some wrong planchet strikes. Some quarters were accidentally struck on planchets intended for other denominations. Values can range from $1,000 to $10,000. The 1968 Washington quarter dollar is one of the most fascinating and valuable coins from modern U.S. history. On the surface, it looks like a simple quarter you might find in your pocket, but hidden within are some of the rarest and most extraordinary errors ever minted. Today, we'll take a journey into the story of this coin, uncover its history, explore the rarest errors, and reveal the jaw-dropping values that have collectors across the country searching every roll, jar. In 1968, the United States Mint was operating in a period of transition and intense demand. After removing silver from circulation in the mid-1960s, the Mint was producing billions of copper nickel-clad quarters to meet the nation's needs. With such massive production, mistakes were inevitable. Errors from this year include an even rare leftover silver planchets that accidentally entered production. Each of these errors can carry incredible value depending on condition and rarity. One of the most famous 1968 errors is the double die obverse quarter. This occurs when the coin is struck more than once, causing visible doubling on letters, numbers, and even Washington's profile. The doubling is often seen on Liberty or the date itself. Collectors prize these coins because no two double dies are alike, and some of the strongest examples can fetch $1,000 to $5,000 in circulated condition. High-grade uncirculated examples can exceed $10,000, making them some of the most collectible modern quarters in existence. Off-center strikes are another dramatic and highly collectible error from 1968. During the rush to strike billions of quarters, some planchets slipped partially out of alignment, producing coins where part of the design is missing. Minor off-center strikes, around 10%, may sell for $100 to $300, but extreme examples missing 30% or more of the design can fetch $1,000 to $3,000. Rare examples missing nearly half the design have sold for $5,000 or more, and each coin is completely unique, making every discovery exciting. Broad strike errors are also among the most visually striking coins from 1968. When a coin planchet slips outside the collar during striking, the result is a wider, flatter coin that often appears dramatically different from a normal quarter. Depending on the severity and visual appeal, broad strike quarters can range from $100 to $500, with exceptional examples selling for even higher prices. Collectors love the unique appearance of broad strikes because each one is one of a kind. Wrong planchet strikes are extremely rare and highly valuable. Some 1968 quarters were accidentally struck on planchets intended for other denominations, such as dimes or nickels. Others were struck on foreign or experimental planchets. Values for wrong planchet errors can range from $1,000 to $10,000, and exceptionally dramatic examples can be worth even more to the right collector.